No more. No more excuses, y'all. No more excuses. It's time to go. It is time to go. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a backup plan, and you are a Black person in the United States,
you need to be preparing to get the hell out.
I'm just saying, we've heard 1,000 excuses. We've heard 1,000 excuses. And we've heard that we have been fear mongers, except for the folks who called us fear mongers back in November of 2024. They see that most of the things that we said are coming true. For us, it is only a matter of time until it gets even worse. Okay? We know that. We know that. We know what's going on. And so for those who think that, oh, I can't do it because I'm single. Oh, it must be nice. You guys are a couple. It must be nice, right?
Yeah.
I hear that. I can't go because, I'm of a certain age. I'm over 60. I'm a single woman over 60. I can't do that.
I can't leave my family behind because I'll miss them.
We miss our family. We do miss our family. But I like being alive and free even more than I miss my family.
And I don't really looking at just leaving them behind because they can come too.
Yeah, they can come too. That's for doggone sure. That's for doggone sure. So, all right, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves and get started, y'all, because here's the deal. We do not want you to have any more excuses or think that you have to stay in your home country. And if you're in the United States, we really don't think that you should feel like you got to stay there.
Really,
right?
Really don't think.
Right? All right. So for those of you who are new, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about, what do we talk about? We talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early. All right.
Early is a good thing, and even abroad.
Yeah, that too is true. All right, sweetheart. What are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about Black women moving abroad and taking control.
Taking control.
Damn it.
Because here's the thing. The majority of the folks, or the group of folks who have been impacted the most in the United States from the jobs layoffs and what's going on in the United States are Black women. The most educated group in the United States are the ones most impacted by the Doge cuts and everything else. Why do you think that is? So I'm telling you, Black women, it's time to go. It is time to go.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. Back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call, y'all. We looked at our money and it looked crazy.
Damn crazy.
We were getting crazy. Close to retirement age, and we didn't have our stuff together. But look, we did get our financial act together, and within 3 years, we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million. Well, about 4 years, over 1.1 million in net worth. And look, if we can do that,
you can do it too.
You can do that too, right? Yes, so if any of that sounds interesting to you, stop lurking in the background and go ahead and subscribe. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers so we can tell YouTube that this is information that our community needs. CK is already asking questions. Really, CK? We still in the introduction, and she got questions. She got questions.
It's okay.
You see here, folks, we are a family here at Our Black Utopia. We have a membership program. If you want to support this channel, if you think that this information is something that needs to get out, then please think about joining the channel. And if you can't, we understand. Subscribe or hit that like, and that will go a long way and helps us out a lot, right? But we were chitty-chatting before we got started with our members, because that's what we do every Sunday before we go live. We do behind the scenes and we chat about what's going on, what they got going. They ask us questions about their move abroad plans, their money plans, and everything in between. And so we were talking about a lot, and CK was in there, and I guess she's just keeping it rolling. Is that what's going on?
That's what I love about her.
All right, sweetheart. Let's go ahead Hey, Bobbie,
Hey,
how are
Bobbie.
you doing? Thank you for joining us.
Hello, I am well. Thank you
Good,
for having me. I'm happy to be here.
good, good, good. Now, usually I have Rick do the introduction, but this time I'm going to.
Oh, help yourself.
This time I'm going to, only because Bobbie and I go back. How far we going back?
Well, if y'all go back, I go back with you.
Yeah, but you weren't like hanging out back in the
I
early
wasn't part of the
days.
ladies thing.
That's right. That's right. So, so I met Bobbie back in 2012, 2013, something like that, when I joined a nonprofit Black women's political organization in Colorado. And we worked with that organization, volunteered, y'all. They worked us like it was work, but we volunteered, y'all. For what? 10 years.
Hmm.
For 10 years, y'all. 10 years. And Bobbie was one of the quietest people on the board. She was one of the quietest. If she said something, you had to be worth listening to, unless it was a question, then of course, whatever. But if she said something, it was worth listening because she did not speak out unless she felt she had to. And so when I start seeing her pop up in the chat and stuff, I was like, what's going on, Bobbie? What's going on? All right, so I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself. That's my introduction of Bobbie.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bobbie Harbert, and I, as Halisi said, have known her for a bit, and Rick as well. And I have actually moved to Portugal. I've been here just about 2 months, and I'm excited to be on the show today. Thank you, Halisi and Rick, for allowing me to be here. And so, Colorado native, and I've lived abroad before as a child, but now I'm doing this as an adult, a single woman. So that's a little bit about me, but you'll hear more as we go on.
Great, great. You know, I guess we should have led with, we kind of buried the lead, right? We're in Lisbon, Portugal, y'all. We all live in Lisbon, Portugal. And if you all did not see the latest Yarbrough video, you should go see it. They're talking, it's one of their best cities or best countries videos. And Rick is featured in it.
Wow.
Right? Yep. And for the first time, they have Portugal on the list. And not because it is the most affordable place to live. It's more affordable than the United States in general, that's for sure. But because of the community that we have here, because of the Black community that we have here. And it really is amazing. We've got the best folks here, and we hang out and have fun. And so, with that, let's go ahead and say hello to the folks who are in the chat, and then we will get started.
Yes, let's do it.
Hey,
Hey,
Karen
Karen Louise.
Louise, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. She was first. I think that's a first.
Wow.
I think that's a first. Hey, unapologetically 50 plus. We got Bold Chameleon, Helen Harris.
Helen Harris.
We saw Sinners again last night, y'all. We bought it because now it's on Apple TV and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's on a few
Hey, Greta.
platforms.
Hey, Action VJ.
Action
Say hello
VJ.
to our volunteers and our great monitors, y'all. Give them some love. Hey, A. Lee, good to see
Hey,
you.
Lee.
Member for 3 months.
All right.
3 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I missed the fam last week, but my granddaughter's birthday was so much fun. Give your granddaughter a birthday hug from us. I love kids' birthdays. I do. I like the jumpy houses, all the stuff. I like all the stuff.
I ain't getting in no bouncy house.
I like the
I might
bouncy
not come
houses.
out.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Carla.
Hey, Carla.
Hello, Halisi, Rick, and Bobbie. That'll be family missing you, Bobbie, and our adventures. Can't wait to see you again. Can't wait to see you live. Happy Sunday, everyone. Look, y'all, Carla and Bobbie were hanging out tough. I was like, I'd be trying to text Bobbie, where you at? Yeah, I'm busy today. Yeah, well, I won't be able to make it. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Hey, Gwen and Derek. CK is in the house. Bobbie is a shero.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. Monique. Good morning,
Hey,
good morning,
Monique.
good morning. Good to see you. Winnie B
Winnie
is
B.
in the house. Hey, rapper MD. Good to
Wow.
see
How you doing,
you.
Rapper MD?
Yes, good to see you. Oh, good. She's going to be in Querétaro. You're going to be in Querétaro in September. So, y'all, anybody who can come down and celebrate Rick's birthday in
Yeah,
Querétaro on September 27th,
27.
we're going to be there. We're going to be there, and everybody's invited. So I'm probably going to do like a Eventbrite or something to get an RSVP list so we can tell like the facility how many people that we have coming. Hey, Allison, sorry for
Hey,
taking you
Allison.
off a few seconds ago. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to have to catch this one later. That's right. She's going to she's going to help her daughter
Help her
pack.
daughter. Yeah.
Hey, show PhD. All right, let's get started. We love you guys, Gwen and Derek. We love you guys. We love you, love you, love you. And Bobbie. The last time I saw you, you were living your best life in Colorado, or what it looked like from the outside. Your best life in Colorado. You were making some relationship changes and this and that, kind of looking at if you wanted to still do that same job and blah blah blah. And then kind of COVID, but we were still on the same board, so we'd still see each other, you know. Um, and then all of a sudden you popped up. So what changed?
What changed was probably it started around 2019 was the period of time where I began to do some soul searching and trying to figure out what my next act was going to be, and thinking that it was going to probably be along in terms of a new career or possibly retiring. So I started looking to see if I could retire in 2019. And after I checked, I realized, no, I can't do it. It's not going to be feasible at this time. So I continued to, work where I was working at the time, and just really searching out. I was searching out God, and God was listening to me and working with me in terms of just ministering to me. Like I knew something was on the horizon. I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was going to be a major change in my life. And so I just kept pursuing to try to figure out what it was. Honestly, I thought it was going to be changing careers, but that was not to be the case. And so COVID happened, which for everybody gave us an opportunity to have some solitude, trying to figure out what our next steps were going to be in life and what in the heck was going on with this world. And so during that quiet time, working from home, I was really digging heavily into our Black Utopia at that point because I looked forward to Sunday afternoon listening to you guys talk about various things. And so that was the thing that sort of drew me into watching you as regularly as I was. And so, you know, as I continued to research and try to figure things out, I said I can't retire yet, but perhaps I could move abroad after listening to you guys. And then I'm like, well, how can I make that happen? And so 5 years later, here I am, retired recently in April, end of April, and then moved here. It'll be 2 months as of tomorrow that I flew
Wow.
in.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna call you a ninja. You're the ninja because it was like watching you in the feed on some shows and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden it's like Bobbie's here.
It was not that sudden.
Well, not that sudden, but it was like it seemed like it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so y'all, you have to understand that I have no idea how Bobbie acted on the job. Obviously she was a boss, she got shit done. On the board, she got shit done. But she quietly got stuff done. And
Ninja.
so ninja. And so that's the thing. So she's in the chat. Okay, that's fine. Because a lot of folks from our old life are in the chat. Our family's not in the chat, but friends are in the chat, right? His family's in the chat once in a while. But friends are in the chat, right? But all I know is so then we didn't launch until 2022. But you were at that initial launch. I remember
Mm-hmm.
that. I remember we were calling it a retirement party, y'all. So, and we're going to talk about this probably on Thursday. Is it too late to start a YouTube channel, especially with the Joy Reads and all of that coming to YouTube? But we launched on March 20th, 2022. I know you were on the RSVP list for that initial one. And I know you said you had stopped watching for a while, right? And then came
I
back.
I started watching when you guys were you were in California at some point, and
Hmm.
I just happened to be on YouTube and found your channel. Still don't know how I got directed there, and then was watching you all for a bit, and then I stopped and then started again.
And so that's interesting because you were still thinking that your next act was another job, right?
hmm Thinking that there had to be a new career change because I was burnt out with what I was doing and was ready for something new, thinking either it's going to be a new job at the current place that I worked or a new position or totally different organization or even changing careers, changing my field of study or field of careers.
Okay, so walk us through the math. You don't have to give specifics, but you were looking in 2019 and you're like, yeah, nah, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna
Mm-mm.
work. So when did you start looking at the math? When and what did you see that was like, well, wait a minute, this could be possibly doable, and maybe I don't have to work until I die.
2024. So in 2019, I started thinking about retirement and started checking, my pension fund and looking into Social Security to see if I was going to have enough funds to be able to retire, and decided it was not going to work, especially living in Colorado. And so in 2024, which is, just what, early last year,
Seems like
I looked
ages
again
ago.
to see if this could be possible. And then I realized at that point, yes, it could be. And so that's when I really got the fire in me. And I would say also that you did a vision board in
Wow.
January of 2023, and I
Yeah.
attended that vision board.
I
And it
remember
was a
that.
vision board party, and that was really instrumental in helping me figure out what is it that I really do want out of my next act in life. And
Yeah,
so from there, I also met some people that I've been in contact with over, the last years since then, and have really grown and developed with those folks. They've become basically friends, even though we haven't seen each other in person. It's been over phone calls and Zoom meetings and those types of things. So
that's
that was the
cool.
kicker right there, was the vision party. And then fast forward, I attended the Move to Exodus Summit in
Let me
October of
oh,
2024. And then I
okay.
also went to the Move to Portugal Summit in November of 2024. And from those two summits, that helped put some more fire under me. I was like, this is doable.
Yeah, yeah. Um, oh shoot. I had a question in my head, but I was listening to you and it dropped my head. It dropped out. Summit. I don't know. I don't know. For the people who are watching, are you on a pension? Are you old enough for Social Security?
I am old enough for Social Security, just barely. I am old enough for Social Security, and I do have a pension from my employer that I retired from.
But that pension was not going to allow you to live like you wanted to live in the United States.
That's that's correct.
The pension
That's
alone,
correct.
anyway, I should say.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Um, did you have a question?
No,
Okay.
it's coming.
Okay. So we're going to get to I've got more questions, but I want to get to some of the family's questions. The OBU family. Please ask Bobbie to talk about the visa move abroad process via concierge service. Easy breezy move.
Yeah, so I did use a service. I think it's probably okay for me to use their name. Is that all right? So it's Start Abroad, and so they were actually one of the sponsors of our or of your workshop that you had back in November, the Move to Portugal workshop. And
Yep.
so I started working with Zach and Anna basically in December of 2024.
Okay.
And that was my Christmas present to myself, was to work uh, with them to try to move abroad. So, but the
And
service, it was easy. There was a lot of work involved on my end because there was things I had to do and deadlines that I had to meet. But I'm glad that I used the relocation service because it made it much easier for me because I was still working full time and I didn't want to take the chance of messing anything up. And I know when you go to the VFS office, they're very meticulous about the paperwork and everything has to be on point. And if it's not, they're going to reject your paperwork and then you've got to start all over again. And
yeah.
so that's one of the reasons why I did go ahead and started working with Start Abroad.
And there is a link in the description below. If I don't have it in there, it'll be in there by the time we finish this live. If you're watching from the future, hey, I hope the future is great for you. It should be in there by the time you are watching it. So the visa process is pretty intense and involved, y'all. We ain't gonna lie. We are not gonna lie. We are not gonna lie. But so now that you've been here for 2 months, I know that there's upfront costs and this and that, and you've got to buy, little things like little trash cans and all of this and that for the house, and all of these things that you don't think about when you move from house to house within the same city, or even from state to state, because we just pack up everything, old cans of tuna and soup and everything, and move it to the next house and unpack it and put that old ass soup right back there in that cabinet, right? But when you're moving abroad, you don't do that. You don't pay to move unnecessary things, right? So, have you found the cost of living so far, like restaurants, groceries, things like that? Does it seem less expensive here?
Oh, it's definitely less expensive. And so, food wise, I don't eat out a lot, but food wise, my grocery bill is, I haven't really been calculating it, but it's definitely less than what I was paying in the US for eggs and bread and vegetables and things like that. I eat a lot of fish since I'm here so close to the water and some chicken too, but food costs, it's much less. Utilities is much less as well. And so that's one of the reasons why I chose Portugal is because the cost of living would be less. Housing is fairly, expensive in relations to everything else. But as far as food and utilities, transportation, I don't have a vehicle here. I have great transportation between the metro subway and the buses and can get around very easily. And there's also Uber and Lyft. So it is cheaper to actually live here than it was in the US.
What was your last utility bill? How much was it?
My last utility bill, as far as, for example, internet, phone, lights, those kinds of things, like $56. And water, I think it was around water utilities, it was around $23.
Yeah, that's expensive because ours was $23. So you either use a lot of water or your water, but still, in comparison to the states, at least in Denver, for Denver water, we never had a bill under $50, and that's going back to 2002, 2003 when we first bought the house,
Yeah.
right?
So, how do you feel safety wise? Have you had any concerns or any issues with that safety?
No, I have not had any issues. I feel very safe in my apartment, which has a secured locked door. You have to come in with a code, and I'm I'm in a business district essentially, so I feel very secure. I've come home late at night. Um,
Oh, have you now, Miss Ma'am?
I
Where,
have.
where, where was you? Where was you coming
She was
from?
out in the street.
Where was you coming from?
Well, one time I was coming from Stubal because we had an
Ah,
event over there that Helise and Rick had sponsored for our meetup, and I got home, I don't know, pretty late. And then there was like the St. Anthony festivals that was going on in the city. I got home about 1:30 in the morning, and
Yeah.
it was very safe. I did take an Uber Lyft ride. Um, that night, but still it was very, very late. So I feel safe even when I have other events that I come home around 10 or 10:30 at night. I am close to the metro, and so I
Mhm.
don't have any concerns about safety. I am still cautious about being in certain areas, but I'm not really worried about safety issues here.
So there were a lot. I mean, was retirement a hope or was it a plan?
Retirement was a hope and not a plan. And so yeah, I was one of the ones that had hoped to retire, plan to retire to some degree, some level, but I did not. I started younger, maybe in my late 40s or so, trying to get serious about it, but it was more of a hope than a plan. And so I love the fact that you've got Beyond the Bling to help those of us who didn't start early so that we
Yeah.
can actually hopefully retire early or retire. And it's a great program as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, we learned a lot. We learned a lot. And the thing about it is, Bobbie, you weren't alone. We were in the same boat, right? And
yep.
a lot of the folks who are watching are in the same boat. It's like we know that it's coming and we hear what we're supposed to do, but like for me, I just couldn't see how we were going to put that amount of money aside and still have fun in life, right?
Mhm.
Like I just couldn't see that. Um, and then I realized that we could have had more fun in life had I stopped buying so many things, especially based on my salary, which of course I never made over $100,000. I never even made $100,000 a year, even though I have a master's degree, right? Never. So, you know, it was for us it was a hope as well. Um, and so when you started thinking about, okay, I'm gonna move abroad. Okay, maybe it's Portugal. It never occurred to you that as a single Black woman that that's not something that you should do.
No, and that never occurred to me. And the reason why is because I felt like I would be moving over here where family is already here. And I would include, you and Rick as part of that. And I do know another family from Colorado that lives here in Portugal as well. So I felt like I wasn't moving to somewhere even though I hadn't seen the place before, I'd never been here before, I
Mm.
felt like I would be moving to where there's comfort and family. And if anything happened, I had someone that I could reach out to for help. And so it didn't really phase me in that regard.
Okay, so I got to get back to that the community and family, right? So, but let's talk about that. I forgot about that. I forgot. So, so Bobbie, you moved from Colorado to Lisbon, Portugal, without ever visiting Portugal in your life.
That's right, I did. That was a bold move.
I tell you.
That's putting it mildly, sweetie. That's putting it mighty mild.
But
That's
I,
putting
I
it
tell you,
mighty
but I
mild.
tell you what, Halisi, when the spirit is in you, and you have a sense and a calling that there's time for change, you do have to listen to that. And so that's what I'd been seeking for several years before I even realized that I could retire. I knew that there was an urging inside of me that there's something new and different that God had planned for me. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was going to be a new job or a new career, but in essence, it turned out to be retiring and moving abroad to Portugal. And as I had mentioned to one of my friends earlier today, in fact, that even though I'm retired, I know that there's a purpose for me to be here. And I'm not here on vacation, but I will be living out my purpose that God has for me. And I still yet to figure out what that is. And so I'm just open to hear his voice, her voice, my God, and to see where I'm going to end up and what's going to happen with that. So, yes, I came not having been here before, but I felt like I was actually coming home because I know you all, I know another family here, and I've met several people just in the workshops that you've had, the workshops that I've attended. We've stayed in contact with one another. Some of them are here in Portugal, others are still in the U.S. But I just feel like there's been that network of people, like a family, like a village to help support, even though they're not necessarily on the same ground with me.
Okay, you hear that, Black women? And because single men, if a single, I've never heard that from a single man, right? And maybe because physically y'all rarely feel threatened. Maybe that's part of that, right? But it's interesting because if there's somebody who's going to be risk averse, it's going to be the man if they're in a relationship.
Yeah,
But
you would think.
right? But I've never heard a man get into our comments and say, "Oh, that's nice. That's nice for y'all, but I'm a single Black man and I'm over 60, so it's too late for me." I've never heard that. Have you? Have you read that?
No.
No, it's always from women. It's always from women. And here we go. We've got a Black woman over the age of 60 who is single, who boldly moved away from her home country to Lisbon, Portugal, sight unseen. And one of the reasons she felt comfortable doing that is because she felt like she had family, she felt like she had community here in Lisbon, Portugal. And that's the thing, y'all. That's the thing. Sometimes you need to be a trailblazer. 1 second, sweetheart. Don't forget your point. Sometimes you need to be a trailblazer, but oftentimes it's so much easier if you try and build community before you go, right? I hate Facebook. You know how I feel about that. And I'm still kicked off. My original profile is still gone, y'all. It's still gone. But between the Facebook groups, from there you can get into the WhatsApp groups, et cetera, et cetera. Build community before you go. It is so, so, so important.
Yeah, it is. It truly is.
You were going to say something else.
I was going to say, so as far as the support systems and stuff that you have experienced here, the people you've met here, was there any pushback from family? Did they think that you were losing your mind?
Absolutely not. So my children, well, two of them have actually lived abroad. They've studied abroad before, so they've experienced being in Europe and the differences between Europe and our country, the U.S. And so they were all on board right away. And then my other child is very excited and happy for me that I'm here, but they were a little reluctant because they're like, well, I'm going to miss you. But I know you want to live your best life and I do support you. So really all three of my children were on board with me relocating. It took me a while. I started telling them a little bit, I think I might move abroad just to see what their thoughts were because I didn't want to, slam it on them, 30 days before I left, like I did the majority of the people that I know. I did not share that information with for a reason.
That was going to be my next question. What about friends or acquaintances, along the way? Because, they have a tendency of like, shoot, girl, you crazy. You going to go over there. You don't know nobody over there. You can't speak the language. How you going to survive?
Didn't you know they started the slave trade?
Yeah, that.
I purposely did not tell some of my friends because I wanted to make sure that it was going to happen. And so really only my children knew and a couple other people knew because I had to share some information with them. But I needed to make sure that my VFS appointment went through. that I got my approval and everything was in place before I started telling people, because I didn't want to have to come back and say, well, I tried, but it didn't
Right.
happen, because that would have been a sad story. I would have been quite disappointed about that, and they would have too. So that's why I kept it very, very quiet, just to make sure that it was actually going to happen before I told them.
For some folks, they don't want to say anything to anybody because people have negative attitudes. CK says, reminder, don't move abroad financially broke and without a financial plan. Seriously, folks, seriously. Um, and whatever you hear a YouTuber say, first of all, look at the date that it was recorded. That's number one. Okay. And then number two, double or triple it, because there's always going to be an expat tax, a gringo tax, I don't know what I'm doing tax, right?
Oh yeah.
So okay, so yeah, you don't want to be out in these international streets asking about no food bank and stuff. And I keep using that example only because it's a true example of of some. It's not funny. It's not funny. It is funny, but it's not funny. But somebody in Mexico, acquaintance of ours knows, and they called him asking about, hey, happy Sunday to you too, asking about a food bank. Bobbie, in what ways, positive or negative, has your quality of life changed since your move to Portugal? Oh, good question.
Oh, definitely a positive change, because I've only been here a couple of months, but I'm certainly finding my way around the city. I'm certainly relaxed. I don't have to get up as I told people when I did let them know that I was retiring, I won't have to get up at dark 30 in the morning. I'll drink my coffee when I'm ready. I'll take my tea when I'm ready, and I'll take my nap when I'm ready. And so that's how my motto is at this point. But I know, again, there will be other things for me to do while I'm here. But I have ease. I don't have to worry about the stress of working anymore, that pressure of working. I've got community with other people. We hang out, we have coffee, we have breakfast together. And so I'm still trying to establish what I'm going to be doing here. And there's still paperwork that I'm doing in the process. As I mentioned, I've only been here barely 2 months. So there's still things that I need to do. I have yet to have my immigration appointment, which is coming up at the end of this year. And so it's a much better life for me. And so even if I had retired and stayed in the US, um, I have much more community, I think, here, because I'm doing so many different things with other people. And I've lived in Colorado most of my life. And so I'd had, been there and done that within Colorado. It was time to do something new and different and wonderful. And that was part of my prayers. I need something wonderful to do. And so here I am, and here it is.
A new adventure.
Absolutely.
And the thing about it is, it's like, so how long did you live in Colorado, sweetheart?
Too long. 30 years.
And I think I was there. I moved to Colorado in 1997, and then we moved away in 2022. So
I,
22 years, right? And right
yeah, I lived there. I moved there in 83.
in 83. So and I don't know if it's because we're retired or not. But one thing that I do know, because everybody that we're friends with and that we hang out with is not retired. But I feel like we have more um, community here. Folks who are wanting to hang out and do things and communicate, and whether it's via WhatsApp, when we're talking about what's going on with the latest bureaucracy or this or that or the other, or nonsense in the United States. Or where do you find, like somebody was on there today asking about beauty salons or things like that, right? All that stuff is in there. But the hanging out, like when we hung out last Friday or the Friday before last, and then the concert that we went to. So we got to go to a concert on Saturday. No,
Masego.
Thursday, last Thursday. That's right. That's why we did did the edited video. And how did we get to go to the concert? Because friends of ours. How did we meet them? Through this YouTube channel. And they live in Coimbra. They couldn't go to the concert, so they gave us their tickets. Life is good, y'all. Life is good. We had so much fun.
We had front row seats.
We had front row seats. Because you can afford to do that here in Portugal, the front row seats. But that man was so talented. That concert was so good. I didn't know any of those songs, and I danced and sang every single song. I was standing up, wasn't I?
Yeah. I got the footage.
And it was €45 per ticket, front row seats. Right? These are the kinds of things that we've been able to do since we've been here. Now, we did go to concerts in the park in Denver. Like there's a place down there in the Lakewood type of area, Bobbie, somewhere down there.
We saw Gladys Knight, and we also saw the OJ.
The OJs.
What was the name of it? It started with an H.
Yeah. But the tickets were much more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Number one. Number two, it was all kind of rigmarole to get in. They got to pat you down and check your stuff and do all of this and that and the other and la-di-da-di-da. Oh my gosh.
If you have a bag, they'll check it because they want to make sure you're not bringing alcohol.
Or too many waters. You were not allowed to bring too many waters either and stuff like that.
That's it. They're not checking you for guns or weapons or anything.
I don't know what they were checking for. But here, they had about 20 food trucks set up?
Oh, yeah.
About 20 food trucks set up in the park, right outside of where they had the stadium and the arena concert area, right? And it was just such a different experience. Mm-hmm. And then when we got in there, we saw friends. To your point, Bobbie, we saw friends in the front row, not necessarily right next to us, but in the front row, right? We're like, oh, hey, and then we walked over that way. Oh, hey, there was Ashanti and Luxury Vagabond was there. And, look, y'all, I think the thing is, Bobbie, and what do you think about this? It seems to me that folks who are adventurous enough and tenacious enough to figure out how to do this thing, that there's already a camaraderie and kind of a birds of a feather. And perhaps maybe that's one of the reasons why we have so much community here. What do you think?
I think I totally agree with you because like you mentioned, there's the different chat groups that are going on. And so everyone's in the groups chatting and giving good advice or asking questions. And then there's always someone or two or three people that's going to respond with what their thoughts are or their knowledge is because they've already experienced some of the things that we have not yet experienced. I go to a breakfast group on Wednesdays it's called Bail, but that's what they're there for, is to help with us newcomers answering questions that we might have and developing community and things like that. So I totally agree with you that it is about community, helping one another. It makes it so much easier because you've got people that are here that are helping oftentimes before you get here. Because of, for example, with your meetup that you had, we're still communicating with people that were here at the meetup about various changes in the politics here that they may need to be aware of. And so it's a great village that we're surrounding ourselves with and living within.
Yeah. And we're celebrating each other, holding each other accountable, and all of that. Yeah. The folks. So y'all, every June we do a meetup. If you're new to the Our Black Utopia community, and everyone who comes to the meetup is not necessarily moving to Portugal, but it is an opportunity and an excuse to visit Portugal and have some fun and meet, 99 to 98 other folks who have move abroad dreams as well, and who may be on the path to financial independence or have already reached FIRE. So I just had to pull this up because I thought it was hilarious. Christine R. says, read the Willie Lynch letter and ask yourself if it's time to leave. I'm getting my black ass out. So for those of you who don't know, you guys got to Google the Willie Lynch letter. I remember giving it to the kids in South Africa back in 2008 when we were there. And even though that we know that it's not necessarily true, it what they're saying and it is true, and it's so interesting to hear it now because it's like it's all coming full circle with the nonsense that's going on in the United States, and they're not even hiding it. Like they're just doing this stuff just boldly all out in the open. Yeah, we gonna go to crypto, and guess whose company's gonna get the crypto contract? Trump. I mean, you can't make this shit up, y'all. How did Bobbie plan her 5-year exit? Did she implement stages, steps? How did she stay on track and or stay motivated?
So my exodus plan was not 5 years. The 5 years was about whether or not I could retire or not necessarily moving abroad. So I didn't decide in my spirit that it was feasible to move abroad until really it was in October of 2024 after attending the Exodus Summit and then the move to Portugal Summit, which was in November of 2024. That's when I realized it totally is feasible to do this because there were so many different workshops or sessions there that from people that are living here. There were different organizations that talked about healthcare, that talked about taxes and finances. So those two summits really did provide a great overview of what life would look like here living abroad in Portugal. And so after that summit, I'm like, I can do this. And so that's when I started that plan. And in December is when I reached out to my relocation service and said, I want to do this. And so we got the ball running from there. So really, it was, um, a short period of time before, by the time I decided I was going to leave. It wasn't years and years and years.
Okay.
I mean, you made that stuff work from basically the Move Abroad Summit. I don't know, y'all, if we're going to do it this year. I probably not. But I'm thinking we might have some salons for the things that have changed. So I don't know. Don't hold me to that. I have to see. But in any event, so that's first weekend from the first week in November, and then by June you were here. All I know is I remember Bobbie texting me saying, "I got the lease on my apartment." I'm like, "Wait, what? Wait, what do you mean you got the lease on your apartment? Wait, what? What are we? Wait, what?" So I mean, you were just making it happen,
Ninja.
ninja style.
Absolutely. I was, when November came, then I realized November 2024 came. I realized that I needed to speed that process up and get out of the United States. And
Why?
so that's why,
What happened in
huh?
November?
What
Oh,
happened in November?
the move to
India.
Portugal summit. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the elections. When the
Oh,
elections happened
the melon
in,
felon.
in November, then I realized it's time to go. And so uh, I just expedited things and it just all worked out.
Yeah,
And I would say, once again, I give all praises to God because it was like it was a system. It kept every month. I had something to do, I got it done, and just kept moving forward. Anytime there was something needed, I got it turned around within a day or two, whatever paperwork was needed for them to submit for my NIF account, my bank account, all of those things. Got the appointment fairly quickly for the BFS, which was in San Francisco. Went out there at the end of February, had my appointment, came back. And so here I am, basically arrived here in June, but I was just serious about this time to go. And I would tell people, don't be afraid if you're thinking about moving somewhere abroad. And if you can, check it out. But I wasn't in that opportunity. I didn't have that opportunity to do so because I figured I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars to go visit a place when I knew in my spirit that I would be well once when I did arrive here to Portugal. So that was the other part of it as well. And so here I am.
I'm still amazed. So let's talk about the process and how it was with Start Abroad, y'all. If you use our link, I believe you get a discount, and we do get credit for that. So the price doesn't change. It does not. It's not higher for you. you use our link. So that should be in the description below. If it's not there now, I will put it in there after we finish this live. So they helped you. What did they help you with? They helped you get your tax ID, which is your NEEF, right?
Correct. They helped with everything.
Bank
E-
account.
Everything. Getting the NEEF, getting the bank account opened up, connecting me with a realtor here in Lisbon that would help find an apartment for me.
Okay,
And
so then once you got to the apartment finding place, they kind of stepped back a little bit and just let you and the realtor communicate directly.
exactly. So they
Okay.
match you with a realtor, and then that realtor are communicating together, and they're sending me information about possible places to rent. And I went online and started doing my own search as well for
Yeah, that's smart.
possible places to live, because I had a deadline. You had to have all these things together by the time you
Right.
went to your VFS appointment. And so I would work during the day, come home, eating dinner at the table, got the laptop out, looking for houses, and then sending, information to the realtor for them to check it out and see if it's still available and those types of things. And so that process moved fairly quickly too, because I stayed on top of it.
And you have to do that, y'all. If you are expecting United States style expediency with Portuguese professionals, don't. And I'm not saying that they're not smart. I'm not saying that they're not efficient. They just don't have this. In general, the culture doesn't have the same sense of urgency. Like everything is an emergency.
Right.
Okay, everything in the United States is an emergency. Everything has to be done now, right now, right now, right now. And it's just not like that here. So you've got to understand that. And if that's something that's going to bug you, then Portugal's not the place. Portugal's not the place. You might want to think about Germany or Switzerland, or maybe there's some other places in the global south that are really efficient and chop, chop, chop. But y'all, I don't want you to get over here and get frustrated. Okay, so did the realtor video walk you through the apartments?
She did. And so she had an appointment with the other realtor who opened up the apartment, and she videoed it for me. It was a live video, so we were chatting while this was going on, and she would go through the various rooms and those types of things. And so for me, it only took the second apartment that I viewed for me to actually be able to
Woo!
secure
I'm sure she loved
particular.
you. She loved you.
I loved her too, and it just worked out. It worked out well.
Because Americans, I've heard horror stories. Americans can be so picky. And here's the thing, y'all. Don't think of this first apartment, whether it's here in Portugal or if there's any place else, even if they don't require you to have an apartment prior to, which most visas do not. Most visas do not require you to have an apartment prior to applying. Why Portugal decided to do that is beyond me. But either way it goes, that first apartment does not have to be your forever home or anything like that. It just has to meet expectations for the short term, y'all.
Right.
And if Portugal is the place, you only have to fulfill a third of the lease by law. Okay. And so if you sign the 1 year lease, then that means 4 months. It's going to take you half of that just to have your appointment and get everything together. So then you only have, if you get here and you don't like it, 2 months, and give notice. Give notice as soon as you get here, right? That's how you solve that. So Bobbie was smart and didn't get too picky. And we didn't either, to be perfectly honest. We were not picky either. And this was like the third place that we saw. And we did it the same way Bobbie did it, in that we used live video.
Okay,
Somebody
yeah.
was here on the ground. But I look, it needed to be clean. It needed to be the kitchen needed to have all of the appliances, because that's not standard. We had to have light fixtures. That's not standard. Um, it did not necessarily have to be furnished, but we lucked out and got a furnished place anyway. But it doesn't have an elevator. I was like, I don't care. I need the exercise anyway. It didn't have as big of a balcony as I would like. I don't care. COVID's over. Like and we can always move. We can always move. So, all right. Live your life, says Alicia, Rick, and Bobbie. Thank you for reminding me how inexpensive it is to live in Portugal. I miss being there. It felt like home for some reason when I was there.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Um, excuse me. It is, it sometimes the spirit just knows, right, Bobbie?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and so how long did it take after you landed for you to say, "Yep, I was right"?
Oh, immediately.
Oh,
I knew I was right before I left. I knew that it was the thing to do. And so I didn't have any didn't have any real reservations about moving. Sometimes I might have gotten a little bit, maybe I wouldn't say fearful, but I was just like, am I really going to do this? And then I'm like, yes, I am really going to do this. And it was just, it was easy. I'm saying it now while you're going through it, it's a little hectic and a little bit of stress on you because you're trying to get all the paperwork done correctly. And they're very meticulous. There were sometimes I had to send things 2 or 3 times to make sure that it was to their satisfaction. And I'm thinking about when I had to do the paperwork for my bank account, everything had to be exact and perfect. And so that was
yeah.
okay too. But by the time I got here, I'm like, it was easy. I was glad that I was here. And then I'll tell you the moment that I had that aha moment, it was the day that you and I met and Rick met for brunch that Saturday, the first
Mhm.
week that I was here.
Yep.
And we went to El Parque de Eduardo, the 7th.
Yeah.
And we were at the top of the park, and I looked down and I saw the river. And
Yeah.
then I knew this is it. It was just wonderful to see all of that in person. And I had a sense like this is where I'm really supposed to be.
I'm here and look, it's so beautiful. It's just like the pictures. It really does look just like the pictures, y'all. When you see it, right?
Oh, yeah.
You stand at the top of that of the hill of that park. It's not a hill, it's like an incline in my estimation. And then you can see down and see the river in the distance. And yeah, it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think we've done it. I'm going to see if there's any more questions. If there's someone having hesitations, y'all, look, get in community. Rick and I offer one-on-one coaching if you need help putting a plan together. It doesn't have to be for Portugal. If you need help putting a move abroad plan together, if you need help putting a financial plan together, if you need help putting a side hustle together, Rick and I can help you. If you need help with your money, as Bobbie said, we have Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom program for late bloomers. Um, I all I know is I'm downsizing, selling stuff, and preparing as much as I can to exit. Stage left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we all should be doing, y'all. And we're I still want to talk about the crypto thing and all of that that's going on and what they're doing. When are you guys going to be in Querétaro, Mexico? We're going to be in Querétaro, Mexico for Rick's 70th birthday, and that we're celebrating woohoo, on September 27th. That's a Saturday, September 27th. We're going to do an Eventbrite. So look for that. If you're on our email list, that information is in the description below too. If you're on our email list, you will get the Eventbrite. I'll probably post it on YouTube and maybe Instagram. As you know, ain't on Facebook no more, so can't do that. But in any event, yeah. So that's where we're going to be in Querétaro. Okay, Amber says that's the beauty of having a community that has everyone's best interest at heart and generally wanting to help. Truly, truly. And one of the things, Bobbie, that I've noticed since we've been outside of the United States is that there doesn't seem to be as much like low key competition between people. You know, in the States, it always seemed like there's that underlying competition because there's only so much of whatever, and only so many Black people are going to be allowed to have whatever the thing is, or the position is, or whatever, right? And so it always felt like folks were in competition. And I just don't feel that. I don't feel that outside of the United States, period. And maybe it's because none of us are, we're from such different places. And so we know that, I don't know. I don't know why, but that's what I've noticed. Have you noticed that?
What I would say that I've noticed is that we are definitely developing and creating community here and caring about each other, because if someone's sick, for example, we're on it in the chat. Do you need anything? Can I bring you anything? Let me know if you need anything. It's really supporting each other and making sure that we have each other's backs. And I think that's really important. That's what my experience has been so far. It's just people reaching out, giving great information, helping one another, inviting you to different events, and including you in various events. Very inclusive community is what I'm finding.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I believe the solo travel movement is helping women make that move alone also. ABX Girl says, yeah,
Yeah.
right? Because for so long, before social media, because most of us are old enough to remember, right? It was easy to come up with reasons why it wasn't feasible for you to make that move because we couldn't see it, right? We couldn't see it. But now, thank God we've got the internet and everybody's got a camera in their pocket, a video camera in their pocket. And so every movement can be captured and shared. It's like, wait a minute. Well, shoot, if she can do it, he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Greta says if they privatize Social Security, they would probably try to put it all into crypto. I could see the Melon Felons regime doing some nonsense like that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. How do you handle healthcare coverage in Portugal? Hey, Cynthia. So that by any immigrant who immigrates to Portugal has to have private healthcare insurance. So here in Portugal, we have universal healthcare. That's the public system. Once you have your residency card, you can have access to the public system, but you still have to maintain your private healthcare insurance. I mean, you still have access to the public system as soon as you step foot in Portugal. Like if a car accident happens or something,
major.
they're going to send you to the public hospital, and don't think MLK. They're going to send you to the public hospital to get patched up. You'll just have to pay out of pocket, right? And even paying out of pocket is still affordable. This is not getting bankrupt by healthcare here in Portugal or in Western Europe. Period. It's just not the case. So colonoscopy here after insurance is about €300. And the last one we got in Denver was like $800. And that was like pre-pandemic.
I thought it was more than that.
See, he thought it was more than that. So I might be being kind.
After they add all the facility care.
Right, a bill from here, a bill from there, a bill from here, a bill from there. The great part about healthcare in Portugal, and I thought, we're gonna do talk about my surgery that I had here in Portugal. And we're gonna go over, what that experience is like. But one of the things I can tell you right now is that before I even had the surgery, before I even showed up at the hospital, I already knew exactly how much it was going to cost. Exactly. With insurance, with with insurance paying their part and without insurance paying their part. I knew exactly how much. And that alone is a breath of fresh air, right?
Yeah.
So our private health insurance costs $2,000 a year for the two of us. I don't know, Bobbie, if you want to share how much yours cost.
I'm actually researching that right now. I don't have it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so before you apply, y'all, you just have to have glorified travel health care insurance, not travel insurance, travel health insurance. Okay. So that's how much we pay. All right, I think that's it.
So, Bobbie, how are you doing with the language?
Well, I'm working on it. So I've actually signed up for a class this fall. I'll be taking um, Portuguese language A1, and so I'm really excited about that. And then I use my phone for the translation, the Google translation for my phone. But I really have most people do speak some English, so
Mhm.
I've been able to manage getting things done that I needed to get done. And if they didn't really speak English, then I would use my translator on my phone. So I'm able to work through it. It's great.
Okay.
Technology, look, and that's another thing. That is another thing. Back in the day, we didn't have the technology to be able to navigate this as easily, right? And where language does not necessarily have to be a barrier. Um, so Killer Queen asks, so she took the lease on her apartment sight unseen? Yes. Yes. Did you get
Well, I saw the
butterflies?
apartment. I did see the apartment, but
But not in
you know,
person, but she saw it via
no,
video, Killer Queen.
right, right.
And it came furnished, right?
It is furnished.
Okay, so it came furnished, which then gives you an idea of the space, right? Sometimes when you're looking at empty spaces, well, for me anyway, when I'm looking at empty spaces, video wise or otherwise, it's hard for me to picture how much
Mhm.
stuff could actually go in that space. I'm
Right,
not very
right.
good with that spatial thing. PK says our plan A was to move to a tax-free state first for about 4 months, but then might have to sprint directly to Portugal. What do y'all think? Um, it, I'm not sure about I don't know, like 4 months, is that really going to make a difference for you, PK? I mean, if it does, then, go for it. 4 months doesn't seem like a long time, but if you've got it all planned out and saving that
Yeah.
extra bit of money is just what you need, then that's fine. I remember hearing someone earlier talk about moving in 8 years. I got clarification on that. Um, y'all, we ain't got 8 years. We do not have 8 years, and I can probably much guarantee that Portugal is not going to be letting people into Portugal the way they are now in 8 years. Now I don't know that for sure, but based upon what's been going on, mm-mm,
Mhm.
uh-uh, no. But yeah, so I mean, oh wait a minute, PK, I misunderstood. Tax-free state in the
Yeah, in the
United
United
States.
States. Yeah, I just
Okay.
reread that too.
Yeah, in the United States. Oh, yeah, definitely. So that's what we suggest. We didn't do that because Colorado has relatively
Yeah, that's
low
pretty.
state income taxes today. So we didn't bother. Did you bother getting residency in another state, Bobbie?
No, I did not. I just
Yeah. Now, if we were in California, if our residency was going to be in
Or
California
New
or New
York.
York or someplace like that,
Yeah.
we definitely would have gotten residency in another state first. Whether you have to do it for 4 months or not, PK, it depends upon the state. So if that's what the deal is, if it takes 4 months, then yeah. But yeah, we definitely suggest there's just no reason to pay any more taxes so that they can do goofy stuff with it
Yeah.
than you are obligated to pay.
Because some places you could just get a driver's license, move there, get a driver's license.
And jet, yeah. So double check what you have to do and make sure that you actually are obligated to be there for at least 4 months. Some places, a driver's license and registering to vote is all you need. But yeah, I don't know, like the stuff. He's like, yeah, so I know we're not supposed to be, changing the maps for 10 years. It's supposed to happen every 10 years. But what we gonna do is we gonna go ahead and we need some more seats because I know I done effed up this economy and we gonna lose in about 16 months. So why don't we just go ahead and gerrymander this stuff over here, gerrymander. It is crazy what they are doing.
The sad thing about it is he's going to get away with it.
He's probably going to get away with it. I hope Newsom and the other people do what they need to do. And I don't care. These people are like, we can't do. No, you fight fire with fire. But excuse me. In the meantime, I don't like paying my taxes for that nonsense. It pisses me off. So any kind of legal loophole, which moving to another state that has lower to no income tax, state income tax, any kind of loophole not to have to co-sign that nonsense that is going on in that country, I'm all for. I am all for. Bobbie, you send many videos of your fabulous daily adventures. Where or how did you compile a list of wonderful places to visit in Portugal?
Oh, it was just as it came. We decided to go to Porto one day. Carla and I did, and I journeyed the trip, and I've just done some tours, little mini tours. So it was just kind of like random. We just decided to do certain things. My first train ride was recently, and first time I took the subway, I chronicled that as well.
Oh,
Just
cool.
kind of random.
So are you posting this on Instagram or something?
It's through a group chat,
Oh,
through
okay.
WhatsApp.
Okay, so you're posting them in the group chat. Okay, cool. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you,
Thank you, as always, for you guys. Y'all know 100% of every single donation goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom program for late bloomers like Rick and myself. We know white folks love their money and hate to lose it. The felon in chief, I love it, is costing them billions. Yes, he is. GM, Ford. Did y'all see Ford? Like, oh my God. They were supposed to be up 800 million or something this quarter or something, and they're up 27 million or down to, I can't remember what the numbers I heard earlier today. No, they're way under what they were supposed to be, like 700 million or 700 billion less than projected before the tariffs.
Gotcha.
So it was crazy. I haven't looked at Apple's numbers. Lord, I don't even want to look at my Fidelity. How much are they willing to lose before they say enough and dump the Trump? That's a good question. Like, I thought every time I say, okay, this is going to be it. Okay, this is going to be it. Okay, this is going to be it. It just doesn't matter. It's a cult. But as far as the other people go, the people who are not in the cult, it'll be interesting to find out. That I see them now, white and black folks alike, talking about national sick days.
Yeah.
So that's what they had to do in New Zealand back in the day. So we'll see. Thank you, Greta. Yes, become a channel member if you believe that learning about life abroad experiences, is something that needs to continue. Life abroad, retiring abroad, getting financially free. We have fun. We hang out before the thing, before we go live, and then you can come on our channel every other week if you're a Utopian legend. So, and we've got free resources as well. And Greta's has been just great putting the resources as well as Action VJ. Do you maintain a Medicare policy in the USA? Yes, we do. Because you just never know. And I know that you get penalized big time as of today if you don't maintain, what is it?
Medicare Part B.
Part B. So, yeah, we maintain it. And then if when we go to the States, he doesn't have to get travel health insurance.
Which yes,
and
Bobbie had to.
So Bobbie, are you maintaining your Medicare policy?
Absolutely. Yes, I am.
Yeah. Yeah, because travel health insurance in the States is crazy. And I lost the ACA. They wanted to charge me something crazy. So I'll just reapply in the fall and see if I can get back on it.
I think a lot of travel insurance don't want to cover you in the United States.
They don't.
They don't.
Our biggest hurdle is getting our bank account straight and our marriage certificate. Oh yeah, because we're married in
Because of
Jamaica. Okay, that's
Jamaica.
Bonita. Y'all, see, this is the thing. And this is why you don't want to wait until the last moment. And so, what Bonita was talking about is that, as a lot of us do, we have these destination Caribbean weddings and stuff. And now they're having to, which the United States seems to be pretty lackadaisical when it comes to this stuff. But then we were born there, so we don't have to prove anything for the most part. But when you're moving to another country, you have to show your marriage certificate. And a lot of times it has to be, notarized. Do you know where your marriage certificate is when you got married in Barbados? Right? And then it's got to be notarized in Barbados or in
In
Jamaica
Jamaica. Right.
or in the Bahamas, wherever you got married, right? And so this is what this couple is having to deal with. And then for some reason, I don't know who they're working with on their banking stuff, but they're not having a good experience getting access to their bank account. Bobbie, working with Start Abroad, did you have any issues getting access to your bank account once you had the paperwork straight?
No, that's why I was saying before, it really was a simple process. And once when I got all the paperwork submitted, I think getting the bank account was the longest wait time that I had. But then once when I got it, I was able to compile all the other documents that I needed for my VFS appointment. So I really had a smooth transition because of working with that relocation service.
Good, 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 good. Um, Kenya asks, international health insurance. So for travel insurance, a lot of people use Safety Wing for shorter trips and things like that. We used also AXA, and
We used Safety Wing too at one
we
point.
used Safety Wing and one other one. And I'm blanking on the name right now. When we went to Thailand, we had one that I hadn't used before, but it had high ratings. You know what? We're gonna put a resource pack together with stuff like that in it. I think we'll add that to either the Move Abroad Toolkit or the scouting trip checklist or both. Something like that. Kenya, let me write that down. Travel. All right. Okay. I think we've done it. Let's see if there's any last questions. Ailey says it here in Florida. Florida's tax free. Yeah, we know. I don't know how y'all paying for that alligator Auschwitz, and you can declare residency by registering to vote and having your driver's license. Okay, quick and dirty and easy. Well, at least there's that. All Sweet Tea asked, did you keep any of your property in the U.S. house, car, etc.? I'm a single woman trying to figure things out to make the move.
So yes, I did keep my property, both my vehicle and my home. And so, and the reason why is because I do have a daughter and a son-in-law living in my property right now, and I'm not ready to actually sell it. I've told them never to sell the property, always keep some property there. So yeah, I still have it.
How come you kept your car?
Well, I'm just not quite ready to get rid of it. But it is being driven, and so it's not just sitting there. It's being driven. I'm just not quite ready to get rid of it. It's paid for, and it's a great vehicle, and perhaps it may end up going to a grandchild or someone else at some point, but I just wasn't ready to sell it.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't sell my dad's car. We sold our cars, but we didn't sell my dad's car, and we kind of used that. And then we gave it to our youngest son, and so it don't be at our disposal no more. You do have to have a piece of mail that is from an official corporation, like a bank account or utility bill. Oh, to get your driver's license in Florida. Okay, Ailey, thank you for that. Okay, Becca asks, hello everyone. I got my D7 visa approval last week. Yay! Congratulations. We got to get some sound effects. Like, woo, 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 woo. We got to get some sound effects.
No, whoa, 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 whoa,
So, woo, 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 woo.
that's too loud.
Woo, woo, woo. Leaving Tuesday for Portugal. Wow, via Air France. I didn't want to take a chance by being targeted for removal because because probably you were going to say you are a naturalized citizen, Becca. Is that what you were going to say? Remember when Obama saved the car industry back in 2008? Yep. Now Ford is about to go out of business. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And Michigan and wherever else Ford is and all these places who didn't do what they were supposed to do, it's like, it just doesn't make any sense. And so, yeah, we are so happy for you, Becca. All right, y'all. Did Bobbie use Beyond the Blink? It's Beyond the Bling. Bling, bling, baby. Beyond the
She just got one
Bling.
letter wrong.
Yeah, I know. Or what? Or what was she talking about when she mentioned she had help with a network to move? Ah,
I'm not sure about the last part of the question, but I was a student of Beyond the Bling, and not necessarily the best student with Beyond the Bling, but I did attend some of the sessions, and so I did learn some things from Beyond the Bling.
and she can still show up and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
absolutely.
But when she's talking about the network to help with the move, it's two parts. PK, one, the professionals that she hired, Start Abroad, which we said if the link is not in the description below, it will be by the time the folks who are watching from the future watch. And then the second network she's talking about is the network that she met in all of these expat / move abroad groups.
Yes.
Okay. And so one of the things that Bobbie did brilliantly is she moved here right before our meetup. So she moves here, she gets a little bit settled in, and then the very next week, 100 other Black folks, well, Black folks and their spouses, because all spouses are not Black, showed up to, to hang out and stuff.
Hang out and check out.
Right. And so in this year, unlike previous years, we were very intentional about making sure that we provided opportunities for folks to hang out outside of the two scheduled paid events. So the paid events were Monday and Tuesday, but we started hanging out the Thursday before, so that by the time we get to Monday, a good chunk of the people had seen each other Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
So they kind of knew each other.
Exactly. And from there, it was no holds barred, right? I think you had staked out your claim on your friends, Bobbie, and y'all had your group of friends, and it was great. Folks were looking out. Were you going to add something?
No, yes, I was. I was going to say, and gathering new friends along the way. That's the other piece of that too, because I met some people through the meetup who actually live here, but they've introduced me to other people that live here. So it's just kind of like a snowball effect because it's been wonderful.
Exactly. And so that's the other thing that we aim to do. For those other unpaid events, those, I don't want to call them networking events because that sounds too transactional. I'm going to call them fellowshipping events. We intentionally invite some of our friends that live here in Portugal so that anyone who is thinking about Portugal has an opportunity to talk to them, ask them questions about how they feel about living here, this is that and the other, et cetera, and or make friends with them. Just make friends, whatever, right? That's what we do. And so I think this year, I think it was the best yet. And I think that was one of the reasons. I think some real connections were made. I feel like the folks in the WhatsApp group are staying chatty a lot longer than last year's group. And I think that is because we had we had 4 events outside of the 2 events that were paid for. So that's like 6 events that people had an opportunity to hang out with the same folks outside of whatever else they had planned.
I mean, and Derek even started a men's group.
See, one of the people started a men's group. Yeah. So not only those 4 events, I'm actually, we saw each other every single day. Every single day. I didn't see everybody every single day, but the Sunday, Belle, who she was talking about, had a Juneteenth picnic. And so folks showed up and did their boots on the ground right? And all of that. That was Sunday. Monday was our event. Tuesday was our event. Wednesday, a bunch of folks got together and went on an African food tour. So we had a friend visiting, so I gave my ticket up to him, and so y'all went, right? And so these were all events that were planned by folks at the meetup without us, our involvement. They just started doing this on their own. I suggested that they do that, but they started doing it. And so we had so many people, she had to add another tour. And these are the kinds of networking and fellowshipping and community building that goes on. Charles Schwab still a good option for access to money abroad. Yes, ma'am, it is. Yes, ma'am, it is. And Fidelity's good as well. Both of them will refund ATM fees and not charge you a conversion fee. Request multiple copies of your marriage license before you return to the U.S. Oh, for anyone who got married, abroad. Okay, ABX girl, yeah, that's smart. These are the things that we don't think about at the time, because when we're getting married, half the time we're not thinking, are we going to move abroad? Like we're so caught up in the moment. Benita, are you confused or are you overthinking it, my love? Are you overthinking it? You need to think about, if you feel like dealing with folks in your house from abroad, it doesn't matter if you have a management company. You will have to deal with the management company. You can't, right? You can't, there's no hands off 100% passive income when it comes to real estate. So you have to figure out if you feel like putting up with that kind of stuff, with getting calls, with replacing folks, and all of the headaches of being a landlord.
And not that it's a daily thing, but
it's not a daily thing. It's not even a monthly thing. It's just an inconvenient thing when you're abroad, right? And so if you say, you know what, it's worth it because, one, I'm trying to build generational wealth, or I know that this is going to be an income stream, do that return on investment and see.
Yeah.
Okay. And then stand in your decision. Here's one thing to keep in mind for all of those folks who are thinking about whether they should sell their house before moving abroad or keep it. Two things. One, if you sell it after the fact, will you be taxed in your new country? That should go into the decision-making process. Two, do you live in a place that you think the value of your home, especially if you're in the United States, do you think the value of your home will stay where it is or go up based upon what is happening in the country right now? Like if I had a house in Florida, I'd be trying to sell right now. I think it's only going to get worse in Florida. I do. And there's some other places too, right? I think it's only going to get worse. Any Sunbelt place where Canadians had their winter houses, I'd be selling ASAP, because some people haven't gotten awakened and gotten a clue, right? And so maybe the housing hasn't gotten as bad as it's going to get, but it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. And so that would be another question we have been asking ourselves. Is it too late? Our plan all along was to keep it and add to it. We were going to build up this real estate portfolio. The reason why I don't talk about that as much now is because the melon felon has turned the world upside down, and I don't know what's going on. Are we going to get into a actual physical World War III? Is it going to be a digital war? What's going on? I don't know. I just know I want to remain nimble. And so, yeah. These are the questions you got to ask yourself. And these are the questions we've been struggling with, especially with the house that's in Colorado. So I think California will be fine in the short term and relative long term, but I don't know about some of the other more fragile states. So, all right, we're going to let you go. We've been on long enough. I'm very happy for any of and all who are making the move to relocate. I have medical issues, and that is the main reason I have not taken the plunge. Everyone have a blessed week. Patricia Jackson, I am not happy that you're not here anymore. I hope that you are, because two of our very, very, very good friends that live here, well, not two of them, but one of the spouses, one of the members of the couple who lives here, who moved here from the United States, moved here with very serious health issues. Um, they could be mortal health issues. Like I think she's got lupus, I think is one of them, and some other autoimmune issue. Okay, and so I don't know if your medical issues are making you physically disabled, but I would not let medical issues necessarily keep me in the United States. As a matter of fact, that may be one of the reasons to leave the United States. Seriously, seriously. Um, yeah. So if you watch this, if you're not watching right now, but you come back and watch the rest, I hope you do. Think about that, Patricia. Think about that and do your Googles, because
check into it.
Check into it. She moved here because she wanted to get out of the United States, and she moved to a city that has great teaching hospitals, university teaching hospitals, and lots and more doctors per capita than any other city here in Portugal, and she is getting excellent health care at a fraction of the cost. And she's still in contact with her other doctors who have been treating her since she was a kid, but and they're talking to her doctors here. So far, no complaints, and it's been nearly 3 years now. Okay, so don't let medical issues necessarily keep you stuck. All right. I think that's it. That's it. We did it, y'all. We did it. We did it. We love you guys. We love you. Become a channel member. Become a channel member. If you believe that this is information that needs to stay on, you can support us by becoming a channel member. You can also support us by hitting that thumbs up and subscribing. It's free, costs you nothing. And it goes a long way to show YouTube and the algorithm, that wretched algorithm, that this is information that should be shared with our community, the Black community in the United States, because my messy, perfect life says hello. It's only a matter of time, folks. It is only a matter of time until, I know we've been saying this, but we see it. We see it getting worse. We see it right before our eyes, right? We see people getting so friggin' bold. We saw the man who showed up to just dump the stuff from his truck and basically almost got lynched, right? We saw the guy who was working for the utility company knocking on doors and almost got lynched. These people are emboldened, and they've gotten crazy. They've gotten crazy. So if you don't have a plan to leave the United States, why come? Why come? If money is the issue, we have the Ready to Retire Toolkit that is in the description below. It's perfectly free, and it comes with a series of emails that will walk you through the first stages of getting your money straight, so you can do this thing. All right, because we're not telling anybody to just quit their job and come here and try to find a job or any such nonsense like that. No, that's not what we're saying. But what we are saying is, it might not be as hard as you think. You might not need as much money as you think. And a lot of the folks that we talk to already have the money and just don't even realize it. Some folks have combined pensions and Social Security and this and that of like $10,000 to $12,000 a household, and they're still talking about, so yeah, I think I'm gonna start a business when I get there or get here. What are we doing, folks? You don't need that much money to live well. Okay, you do not need that much money to live well outside of the United States, in most other countries, in tons of other countries. And so here in Lisbon, Portugal, Rick and I, our basics, including food and entertainment, come to no more than $2,700. $2,700 a month. That's what it is, y'all. Okay. So if we can do it, you can do it too.
Yes, you can.
You can do it too. If you need a plan, the Move Abroad Toolkit is in the description below. Okay. And that will walk you through getting your stuff together. Right. And with that, we're going to let you go and we will see you on Thursday. I think we're going to be talking about my experience in the hospital. I think that's what we're going to be talking about. So you can see what I did take some video and some pictures, y'all. Okay. So you can see what the hospital, we always get healthcare. So we want to make sure, oh, it's Tamra, Bobbie's neighbor in Portugal. Okay. I love it. I love it. So yeah, you know, we always get the healthcare question. And so we're gonna tell you now that I've gone through a lot, the colonoscopy, and then that colonoscopy is a procedure. I had surgery. So surgery, procedure, general health care, all of the exams and everything. We're going to talk about it on Thursday. And with that, we love you.
Well, we didn't say hi to our new member.
We've got a new member? Where is it?
You just scroll past her, Tashika.
Oh, there it is. Yay, Tashika Holmes. Thank you for becoming a new member. So we hang out right before we go live every Sunday, all right? And so look at the posts under the postings on YouTube, and you'll see the link for our Zoom and everything, and come hang out with us beforehand. And if you are a legend, then hang out with us on Thursdays on air as well. So yay, we love it. And with that, we'll see you Thursday. Bye, y'all.